Hi Pratul, hi Agrimadan. And before starting this live session, I would like to share something positive today because as this lockdown is going, we are maintaining the social distancing, we are self quarantining ourselves, so it might take a toll on our mental health. So there's this positive news coming from Chennai, where a bunch of women police officers are feeding the stray dogs some food in night. So I think that's a really beautiful gesture, and I think we should all implement such things in our daily livelihoods. So I think just doing some gestures and showing a little humanity and kindness can help, and it can really help your mental health to boost. So today we'll be joined by a really special guest. His name is Pratul, and he's a producer, he's a host, he's a writer, and his Instagram feed is really super cool. So I'll be sending him the request.
Okay, I think it's fine now.
Hi, sorry. I was trying to use my neighbor's Wi-Fi to stream better, but I'm gonna not be using my 4G. Yeah, sorry guys if it's a little. Hi everyone. Hello, my name is Pratul.
I think many people would be joining us now. So would you like to reintroduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Pratul. I go by Pratul No Shade on Instagram, and yeah, I like to call myself a self-employed writer, producer, host. I work with a bunch of internet publishers to create content. My background has been digital and marketing, and my last, full-time gig was working with Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and obviously staying at home and not going outside because of the lockdown that's never ending. Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, I think
What
that's the
about
only
I?
thing we can do. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I need to do this to have a conversation. So I would love to know what is your voice about, and if I'm saying it right also.
I think our primarily work for primary prevention of child sexual abuse, and we also work for our community by raising voice on many social issues. We recently made our videos on the boys locker room controversy that was happening, and then we also talked about the International Day Against Homophobia, which recently happened on 17th. We conducted a live session, and I think it's on our feed. We also talked about violence. We also talk about women empowerment. So the primary focus is basically on prevention of sexual abuse among children, but we raise our voice. I think that's the name. Our voice. Voix means our voice.
Got
So
it.
that's pretty much about it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was going through your feed and it was really amazing, and you really love to party. You create such inspirational posts. So I think we would like to know about the interesting work you are doing. You are a host, producer, writer. So how did it start?
Okay, so first you said I love to party. That's interesting. I do. Partying is fun. Of course, it's a good way to release some stress. Of course, we all miss it right now. But yeah, I'm not a crazy party person as you said, but that's cool. Yes, so all of those things actually happened just a year ago. I was a
Hmm.
very average, corporate jobs kind of a person, basically. Not corporate jobs, but yeah, just like working at like creative agencies and stuff. But very 9 to 5, but then also a few more hours at work. Not really ever creating content either for myself or the things that I'm passionate about. I was consuming a lot of things because everything that I did around work was on the internet. And yeah, so but right now what I'm doing is I took a little break from having a 9 to 5 situation, and then wanted to develop a few things in the non-fiction format, because that's something that like really interests me, and I really wanted to, I mean, I want to build a career in that, but then now I'm hoping to try a few different things. So writing, producing, hosting is just some of those little things that I'm trying my hand at. And yeah, a few things that I miss is being able to go and do fun activities. So like improv classes are one of the things that I miss now, because I didn't think that that would be something that I will basically not be able to do for a very, very long time
Yeah.
now, because I don't know if public venues are going to be open or not. So yeah, pretty much the same thing, and that's pretty much about me.
It's pretty much evident from your profile also. The videos you post, they are damn entertaining, and especially some of the boomerangs you post. And so, what's your story of child abuse you had gone through? I read a post about it, so I think if you can explain the situation and how did you overcome your thoughts?
Sure. That post that you're probably talking about is with this little community called Here Comes the Sunshine, which is run by Shine Bhag. And so strangely, I got like an Instagram DM, somebody asking that, hey, if you'd love to have a conversation with you and probably take like one or two pictures. And then they told me a few people that are also going to be a part of that. And these are a few people that I've sort of looked up to on the internet, because, they've had great careers, but also, stand by like really nice and important things, let's just say. So and the brief was to come and talk about like depression, anxiety, or any sort of like mental health issues that I might be experiencing or might have experienced in the past, and what do I do to like overcome some of those things. um, and First they told me that I could write something and send, but then when I was there, it was like a recorded conversation, and Shaheen was there, and she whatever, and then they asked me a couple of questions, and then that sort of led me to like talk about trauma and childhood trauma, and how a lot of the things that we go through, in our later day and age, like what I'm experiencing right now, it stems from a lot of these unresolved childhood traumas that I may not have been able to talk to anyone about, or I don't know, some of the fears that I have about trusting people, or having my guard up all the time. I think all of these things stem from scarring incidents that were never really obviously diagnosed, treated, or ever voiced about, voiced to anyone in any capacity, basically. So yeah, it was it was hard for me to open up on in that situation also. But then I thought, okay, maybe I can just let go and then talk about that how some of my mental health issues that I'm struggling with right now stem from a lot of these things that I have experienced growing up. And yeah, I spoke about my experiences, things I was in, hostels, boys hostels. Yeah, when you're a young, let's just say, weak-looking child, who that you won't be able to retaliate and you won't be able to fight back. Sometimes that works negatively in some capacity, and especially if you don't have like a guardian who can look after you, or you can actually go back home to and tell them that something bad happened or whatever. So yeah.
So, I really don't agree with the term that you use that you are a weak-looking child, because I can see that you are really handsome and beautiful in many ways. So I think we were talking about mental health. So there are many people who can't afford a therapist, but they really need them. So what's your advice to these people? How can they overcome that depressing or that sad thoughts that they have?
It's like fairly simple. I didn't have a lot of like money or resources to get help for myself, and I think the internet is a blessing in that sense. Like all the information that I needed to not I would say, again, I would like watch my words and say that I wouldn't recommend that you diagnose yourself off the internet, but there are 101 ways for you to find like things that can help you with your anxiety, or if you just are looking for people who have gone through same experiences as you, if you want to find like therapist online, so many different things. So again, internet is definitely that's a very vague answer also, but then I'm not pointing at one specific thing, but that's my experience in that sense. Like, of course, when I could afford a therapist, I realized that a medical expert will definitely help me channel some of these things in the right way. And what they tell you is pretty much the same thing, that if I have a conversation with my mother, she would also tell me the same things, that you need to have a positive outlook toward things, find things that can help you be productive, because on days that I don't be productive, I don't end up doing anything. And yeah, just not be too in my head about things. That's
Okay, so that's lovely. And who inspired you in your life to be who you are today? And who is your constant sense of inspiration?
Oh wow. I have like really basic answers to these kind of questions. Like, yeah, different people inspire me for different things. Uh, I mean, yeah, if I have to give you like a very sappy, emotional answer, then of course my mother is a big inspiration to me.
Oh,
You know,
sweet.
yeah, so she's obviously like, I talk a big game about like the bad experiences that I've had, but when I think about all the shit that she has had to go through in her life, I think it doesn't even compare to any of my struggles. And so, yeah, that my mother is a big inspiration, and I think I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people. Like, look around, you find my friends. I get inspired from my friends all the time. There are so many creative people. There are few maybe that are watching this. Priyam Saha, she's a big inspiration. She has a great outlook on life, and just like positive kind of energy that you can have as a friend. So yeah, my friends inspire me. My boyfriend inspires me a lot. He's very artistic. He creates a lot of great stuff uh, from his hands, and I don't understand how some people are wired like that. But yeah, there's a lot of inspiration.
Okay, so there are something which you are naturally born with. You should always embrace who you are. And I think LGBTQ communities is still fighting for the gender typical stereotypes. I mean, the laws have been passed, the constitution supports it, but there are stereotypes in our society. So, what's your advice on the person who has just discovered about his or her sexuality? That how should they talk about and open up?
Um, so from what I'm understanding, there are two different questions you're talking about. You're talking about the stereotypes that exist and how to combat that in some sense, and then the other one is that if somebody is coming to terms with their sexuality, how should they approach it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure of the second part of the question.
Uh, so you can answer the first. I mean, you can answer about the stereotypes.
See, again, I feel like it's important for us to have this conversation because I have a lot of closer conversation with my friends about how the gay jokes that I see on movies and TV shows and
Mm-hmm. Yes.
everything. Uh, some are funny, of course, because a joke written with an intent of a joke is supposed to be funny and haha, and
Mm-hmm.
if some are just like ignorant things that you keep on perpetuating only to get like cheap laughs, I think that becomes problematic. So yeah, stereotypes may be rooted in some truth, maybe not, or whatever. I think it's going to exist and die out when it does. uh, I don't pay much attention. I don't think so anyone that I've asked this question to has told me to give two fucks about it. So again, yeah, whatever. I, anyone I've asked has asked me to not get too fucked about like stereotypes that might be trying to hold me back. So yeah. Um, yes. If What about stereotypes scaring people into like not expressing themselves? Of course, it's scary. I have gone through that where I wouldn't be comfortable. Even like little things like wearing things, for example, like it's as stupid as that. Like, but it's the shit that like people feed you that you have to live with. But you can also like take a second to just be like, it doesn't really matter and do whatever you want. It takes time, but
Okay.
yeah, eventually you'll get over it. So yeah.
Okay. So there is a question from our founder Mega Ma'am, and she's asking how can they come out? There are times when the family is not ready to accept them. So how can what advice will you give to that person that how should he tell his parents that this is all normal?
Okay. I'm definitely not an expert in this, I would say, and my experience of coming out to my mother has also been fairly recent. Uh, but I can only share my experience, and I think one of the things that is very it's similar. It's like it's a similar journey for everyone who decides to come out, or some people even have an issue with the term coming out, and then why does it exist? All of that aside, let's just say that if
Mm.
it's a conversation that you need to have with your parents about your orientation or your gender identity, because you think that you've been holding back some information, or you're not being completely honest or truthful with them. That's what I wanted to do basically. So I think the simple and easy way is that first is, do you have that kind of a relationship with, either of your parents, that you can, sit them and, share something, but it might be, too much information, it might be graphic, it might be, they might have questions. So yeah, again, are you comfortable enough to do that? That is number one. B, are you comfortable with yourself to even, uh, address and admit some of those things, and, not just, so again, my advice would be to just make sure that, you are comfortable completely with yourself, that, you can have that conversation and not get worked up if they don't understand, or if they ask you, 20,000 questions about why, and, if they bring up words like this is unnatural, or, immoral and things like that, you don't, again, you don't lose patience, you don't, like, get angry, throw a fit rate, whatever. So all of those things, just make sure that, hope that, there's a good, like, an environment at home that's not that, how do I say it, just like, yeah, a calm, like, nice, peaceful conversation, I think, is the best way to go about
It should be normalized, and
yeah, honestly, I don't think so. I understand that, in most families, I have grown up with a lot of families, that there's a lot of drama almost every day. But those are unresolved things that, that family is not having conversations with each other, and there are clearly constructs that they're all sort of, held back by. So yeah.
Okay, so I'll be asking this question again, which I start the interview with, or the live session with, but due to some network issues, I think that was unanswered. So how are you keeping up with positivity among this quarantine and social distancing?
I am struggling every day almost to really be positive, because there's not a lot to be positive about, most days. Let's just say, uh, obviously, it's like, really sad time, bad news, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's hard, but I guess it just look. See, I was lucky and blessed to, spend this lockdown with my mother and my boyfriend in the same house. So I can't be the person who will be complaining about, like, I'm so lonely, and, I don't have anyone to talk to, because I have two people that hopefully, like, I mean, I know that they really care about me, but then two people that I can vouch for, that, they really do care about me. If I'm having a bad day, they will do something to just, like, get me out of that. So I'm lucky on that regard, but I know a lot of people are stuck, like, by themselves. I have so many friends who are, basically, like, cooking 3 meals and cleaning all day, and working all day, and then just, have zero time to just, like, even think about what the, hell is even going outside. So I have enough time on my hand to worry about, like, what's going to happen next, and, so yeah, I'm keeping myself positive by, just turning to my immediate loved ones, and, not seeing them sad and, depressed. So, like, that's kind of like a mutual thing, that, we keep each other happy and uplifted and keep it relaxed. I'm eating a lot of good food, sleeping a lot. That helps. So please, everyone, just make sure that you guys are keeping yourselves fed and, well rested. Not watching a lot of news. Please tune out. I constantly, like, scream at my mother to, like, turn off Stuck and whatever nonsense that she's watching. So yeah, only consume as much as you, like, content wise, just as much as that you can process, because it gets really overwhelming. And yeah, look at, like, pretty things on the internet, and just make plans with your friends or whatever. Channelize, like, some of these things into, like, projects and work things. I've been a little late in that, but I'm starting to, so that's good.
I think due to this lockdown thing, and people are not able to go to their offices and go and do some of the work they were doing. So they can, as you said, they can channelize their energy toward seeking their passion, or involving themselves creatively. So as to make the day more productive. So I
Yeah.
really hope that you like this session, and anything you want to add.
I made a TikTok to be productive. That's not something that I'm recommending. TikTok is, like, I used to be that person who would not download TikTok and, like, tell my friends that it's, like, just it's too addicting or whatever. But yeah, 101 ways to keep yourself busy, and TikTok was one of the things. So I tried. Yeah, do whatever makes you happy. I think this is probably the best time to just indulge, like do things that you won't be able to do because there is no outside right now. And for little time that you have with yourself or your loved ones, just do nice, positive things.
Okay, so thanks for collaborating with us, and I really think that your words might inspire people, and they might learn a thing or two. And it's always lovely to catch up with people who really embrace themselves as who they are, and they really love themselves. So I really hope that we'll be collaborating in future soon.
Of course, and please, like any sort of awareness that I can, help raise for the work that you guys do. That's
Okay,
really commendable. So thank you.
thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so that was pretty much of it, and I really hope that you might learn a thing or two. And you can check this live session or on our Instagram feed, and there are many live sessions to be uploaded, and there are many things that we are planning, especially the next Sunday. That's going to be little surprise for all of you. So yeah, so bye bye, take care, and have peace.